3:47 a.m. I woke up to use the bathroom and saw the glow under our bedroom door. Not the TV, not a lamp, the cold blue light of a phone screen. I pushed the door open quietly. My wife, Rachel, was sitting on the edge of our bed, hunched over her phone, thumb moving in rapid swipes. Delete, delete, delete. "Babe?" I said softly. She jumped like I'd fired a gun. The phone flew from her hands, hit the nightstand, bounced onto the carpet. "Jesus, Tom!" Her hand was on her chest. "You scared me." "Sorry, what are you doing up?" She grabbed the phone fast, too fast. "Couldn't sleep, just scrolling." "At 4 a.m.? "Insomnia." She forced a smile. "Go back to bed." I stood there, watching her. Her screen was dark now, locked. "What were you deleting?" Her face changed, just for a second, a flash of something I'd never seen before. Fear. "Nothing, just old emails. Spam. It's nothing." Nothing. That word sat in my chest like a stone. I went back to bed, didn't sleep. And 2 weeks later, when the phone bill came, I understood why. 7,439 text messages in 1 month, all to the same number. I sat at our kitchen table, staring at that number, and felt my entire life crack open. Because the number wasn't saved in her phone, but I knew exactly who it belonged to. If you want to know what those 7,439 messages said, and what I did when I found out, hit subscribe. Because what happened next didn't just end my marriage, it ended his career. My name is Tom Mercer. I'm 39 years old, and I live in Austin, Texas. I'm a systems analyst for a mid-sized tech company. I work from home 3 days a week, go into the office 2. I'm the guy who fixes the network when it crashes, who explains to executives why their password can't be password 123, who sits in meetings and nods while people describe problems I could solve in 10 minutes if they'd just let me work. I'm not flashy, I'm not loud, I'm steady. Rachel used to say that's what she loved about me. "You're my rock," she'd say, curling into me on the couch. "You make me feel safe." I thought that was a good thing. Turns out, safe is another word for boring. Rachel and I met in college, University of Texas, 2006. She was pre-med, I was computer science. We met in the library during finals week. She was crying over organic chemistry. I offered her my notes. We started studying together, then dating, then we just never stopped. We got married in 2012, small wedding, backyard ceremony, her parents' place in Round Rock. It was perfect. For a while. Rachel became a nurse, pediatric ICU at Dell Children's Hospital. She worked 12-hour shifts, nights mostly, 3 or 4 days a week. It was hard. The hours, the stress, the emotional weight of watching kids fight for their lives. But she was good at it, great even. She'd come home exhausted, collapse on the couch, and tell me stories about the kids she'd saved, the families she'd comforted. I was proud of her. I still am, honestly. But somewhere along the way, the job changed her. Or maybe it just revealed something that was always there. The changes were small at first. She started staying late more often. Charting, she'd say. "I'm behind on documentation." She'd come home at 9 p.m. instead of 7:30, then 10 p.m., then midnight. "Babe, you're working too hard," I'd say. "I know, I'm sorry. It's just, we're short-staffed. I can't leave the kids." How do you argue with that? Your wife is saving children's lives. You're sitting at home debugging code. So I didn't argue. I just waited. And slowly, the distance grew. She stopped telling me about her day, stopped curling into me on the couch, stopped laughing at my jokes, the dumb ones she used to love. Our bedroom became a place we slept, not a place we connected. "I'm just tired," she'd say when I tried to initiate anything. Long shift. Always a long shift. I told myself it was the job, the stress, the hours. I told myself we'd get through it. But deep down, in that place you don't want to look, I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know what. Then came the phone. Rachel had always been casual about her phone, left it on the counter, face up, unlocked. I never looked, never felt the need to. But about 6 months ago, that changed. Suddenly, the phone was always face down, always in her pocket, always locked. She'd get a text and her whole body would tense. She'd glance at the screen, then at me, then quickly swipe it away. "Who was that?" I'd ask. "Work." Always work. One night her phone buzzed during dinner. She grabbed it so fast she knocked over her water glass. "Sorry," she laughed, mopping up the spill with her napkin. "Reflex." But her hands were shaking. That's when I started paying attention. I'm not a jealous person, never have been, but I'm a systems analyst. I notice patterns, and the pattern was clear. Phone always face down, texting constantly but never around me, smiling at her screen then quickly locking it when I walked in, taking calls in the other room, work excuses that didn't quite add up. I didn't want to be that guy, the suspicious husband, the one who checks his wife's phone, but I couldn't ignore it anymore. So I started watching. She'd come home from her shifts and immediately disappear into the bathroom. Long day, need a shower. She'd be in there for 30 minutes. I could hear the water running, but I could also hear the faint tapping of her phone screen. One night, I pressed my ear to the door. She was texting, fast, the little tap-tap-tap sound of someone in a hurry. Then silence. Then the sound of messages being deleted. That soft whoosh sound iPhones make, over and over. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. My stomach turned. I tried to talk to her about it. "Rach, are we okay?" "Of course. Why?" "I don't know. You just seem distant." "I'm not distant. I'm just tired." "Is there something you want to tell me?" She looked at me then, really looked at me, and for a second I thought she was going to say it, whatever it was. But she didn't. "Tom, you're overthinking. I love you. We're fine." She kissed me on the forehead, like I was a child, and I let it go, because I wanted to believe her. Then came the night I woke up at 3:47 a.m. I'd gotten up to use the bathroom. Routine, nothing unusual. But when I walked back toward our bedroom, I saw the light, that cold blue glow under the door. I pushed it open. Rachel was sitting on the edge of the bed, back to me, phone in her hands. Her thumb was moving, fast, swipe, 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 deleting. "Babe?" She launched off the bed. The phone flew from her hands, hit the nightstand, bounced onto the carpet. "Jesus, Tom!" Her hand was pressed to her chest. "You scared the hell out of me." "Sorry, I didn't mean to. What are you doing?" She bent down, grabbed the phone, clutched it to her chest. "Nothing. I couldn't sleep. Just scrolling." "At 4 in the morning? Insomnia. You know how it is." I didn't know. Rachel slept like the dead. Always had. "What were you deleting?" Her face changed, just for a flash. Fear. "I wasn't deleting anything. Rachel, I saw you. It was just spam. Old emails. It's nothing." "Nothing." There was that word again. "Can I see?" "What?" "Your phone. Can I see it?" She pulled it closer to her chest. "Why?" "Because you're acting weird." "I'm not acting weird. You're being paranoid." "Then show me." "No." That word hung in the air between us. No. Not "sure, here." Not "you're being silly." Just no. "Tom, it's 4 a.m. I'm tired. Can we not do this?" She climbed back into bed, phone under her pillow. I stood there, feeling like a stranger in my own bedroom. "Yeah," I said quietly. "Sure." I went back to bed, didn't sleep, and I knew right then that everything I'd been afraid of was true. The next morning, she acted like nothing happened, made coffee, kissed me goodbye, went to work. Normal. But I couldn't shake it. I sat at my desk staring at my monitor, not seeing the code in front of me. All I could see was her face, that flash of fear,
and the phone clutched to her chest like a secret. I needed proof. Not because I wanted to catch her, because I needed to know I wasn't crazy. I'm a systems analyst. I work with data, and data doesn't lie. So I did what I do best. I pulled our phone records. We're on a shared plan, have been since we got married. I'm the account holder. I logged into Verizon, navigated to billing, and pulled up the last 3 months of detailed records. And there it was. 7,439 messages in 1 month. I stared at the screen until the numbers blurred. 7,439 messages. That's 248 texts per day. That's 1 text every 6 minutes, assuming she never slept. I scrolled through the log. 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., texts sent while I was asleep in the next room, texts sent during her shifts, texts sent during our anniversary dinner. I remembered that night. She'd excused herself 3 times to check on a patient. She'd been texting him.
The number wasn't saved in her phone. I'd checked her contacts weeks ago, casually, when she left her phone on the counter. But I'm good at what I do. I ran the number through a reverse lookup. It took me 10 minutes. Dr. Jason Kellerman, pediatric intensivist, Dell Children's Hospital. Her boss. My hands went numb. I sat there staring at his name on my screen and felt the floor drop out from under me. Her boss, the man she talked about constantly. Dr. Kellerman is so brilliant. Dr. Kellerman saved a kid today with the most incredible procedure. Dr. Kellerman says I'm one of the best nurses he's ever worked with. I'd met him once. Hospital fundraiser, firm handshake, expensive watch, confident smile. Married, 2 kids, and apparently texting my wife 248 times a day. I didn't confront her, not yet, because I'm methodical. I needed more than a phone bill. I needed context. So I started digging. I set up a data logger on our home Wi-Fi, simple script, tracks devices, timestamps, data usage. Rachel's phone was on our network every night, and every night between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m., her phone was active. Not just active, constantly active. Messaging apps, social media, cloud backups. She wasn't sleeping. She was talking to him. Next, I checked our cloud storage. We share an iCloud family account. I have admin access. I logged in and navigated to her photo stream. And there they were. Hundreds of photos. Not of us, of him. Selfies, candid shots, photos taken at the hospital, in his office, in parking lots. Photos I'd never seen on her phone because she'd hidden them in a locked album. But cloud backups don't lie. I scrolled through them, feeling sick. There was one of them together, close, too close. His arm around her shoulder, her head on his chest, both of them smiling. The timestamp? 3 weeks ago. The location? A hotel in downtown Austin. I sat there staring at that photo and felt something inside me break. Not my heart, my trust, the foundation of everything I thought we were. Gone. I didn't sleep that night. I lay next to her, listening to her breathe, and wondered how long she'd been lying. How many times she'd looked me in the eye and said, "I love you," while texting him under the table. How many shifts were real and how many were excuses to see him. At 2:37 a.m., her phone buzzed. She stirred, reached for it, read the message in the dark. I watched her smile. Then she typed back, hit send, and set the phone down. 30 seconds later, it buzzed again. She picked it up, smiled wider. I closed my eyes and pretended to sleep.
The next morning, I made a decision. I wasn't going to confront her with emotion. I was going to confront her with evidence. I spent the day compiling everything. Phone records showing 7,439 texts to the same number. Wi-Fi logs showing late-night activity. Cloud photos showing them together. Timestamps proving she was texting him during our anniversary dinner. Hotel charges on our credit card. Charges she'd labeled as work conference.
I put it all in a folder, printed it out, organized it like a case file, because that's what this was, a case, and I was about to present my findings. That evening, Rachel came home at 7 p.m., early for her. "Hey, babe." She was cheerful, too cheerful. "I'm home." "Hey," I said from the kitchen table. She walked in, saw me sitting there, saw the folder. "What's that?" "Sit down." Her smile faltered. "Tom, what's going on?" "Sit down." She sat. I opened the folder and slid the first page across the table. "This is our phone bill from last month." She glanced at it. "Okay." 7,439 text messages, all to the same number. Her face went pale. "That's 248 texts per day, Rachel. One every 6 minutes. Tom, I'm not done." I slid the next page. "This is a reverse lookup of that number. Dr. Jason Kellerman, your boss." She opened her mouth. Nothing came out. "This," I continued, sliding another page, "is our Wi-Fi log. Shows your phone active every night between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m., texting him while I was asleep. Tom, please." "And this," I said, sliding the photos across the table, "is you and him at a hotel 3 weeks ago." She stared at the photo. Her hand started shaking. "How long?" I asked quietly. "Tom, how long?" She closed her eyes. 6 months. 6 months. Half a year. I'd been living with a stranger for half a year. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she said, voice breaking. "It just did." "It just did?" I repeated. "You accidentally texted him 7,000 times?" "It's not like that." "Then what is it like, Rachel? Explain it to me." She wiped her eyes. "He understands me, the job, the stress. You don't get it." "I don't get it?" I said slowly. "I've been supporting you for 6 years. I've listened to every story, every hard day, every loss, but I don't get it?" "You don't," she snapped. "You sit at home working on your computer. You have no idea what it's like to watch kids die." "So you fucked your boss." She flinched. "Is that what this is? Stress relief?" "It's not just physical." "Oh, good. So you're in love with him. That's so much better." She started crying. "I don't know what I am. I'm confused." "No, you're not confused. You made a choice. 7,439 choices." I stood up. "I'm done." "What?" "I'm done, Rachel. I'm filing for divorce." "Tom, wait." "I already talked to a lawyer. Papers will be ready Monday." She grabbed my arm. "Please, we can fix this. Counseling, therapy, whatever you want." I pulled away. "I don't want to fix this. I want out." I left, grabbed a bag, drove to a hotel, sat on the edge of a bed that wasn't mine and stared at the wall. And for the first time in 6 months, I felt something other than confusion. I felt clarity. But I wasn't done, because Rachel wasn't the only one who'd betrayed me. Dr. Jason Kellerman had too, and he was about to learn that actions have consequences. The next morning, I did something I'm not proud of, but I'm not sorry for it either.
I called the hospital, asked for HR. "Hi, I'd like to report a workplace relationship that violates hospital policy." The woman on the other end sounded bored. "Name?"
Dr. Jason Kellerman, pediatric intensivist. He's having an affair with one of his nurses, Rachel Mercer. There was a pause. And you are? Her husband. Another pause. Do you have proof? I have phone records, photos, and hotel receipts. I can email them to you. Please do. I'll forward this to our ethics committee. I hung up, sent the email, and waited. It took 3 days. 3 days before Rachel called me, hysterical. What did you do? What do you mean? Jason got suspended. They're investigating him for ethics violations. Huh, I said. That's unfortunate. Tom, you did this. I reported a workplace relationship. Hospital policy clearly states that supervisors can't have relationships with subordinates. It's a power dynamic issue. You're ruining his life. No, I said calmly. He ruined his own life, and ours. I just made sure there were consequences. She was crying. He has a family. So did I. I hung up. 2 weeks later, Dr. Kellerman was fired. Not just suspended, fired. The hospital found that he'd violated multiple policies: workplace relationships, abuse of power, falsifying timesheets to cover for Rachel's absences. His wife filed for divorce. He lost his medical license, temporarily, pending review. And Rachel? She was transferred to a different unit, night shift. No more PICU. She called me once after that. Are you happy now? You destroyed everything. No, I said. You did. I just made sure the truth came out. I loved him. Then you should have divorced me first. I hung up, and I never spoke to her again. The divorce was finalized 4 months later. No kids, no house, just assets to split. I kept the car, my retirement, and my dignity. She kept hers. We went our separate ways. A year later, I'm sitting in a new apartment, smaller, quieter. I'm dating someone new. Her name is Claire. She's a teacher, honest, kind. She doesn't work nights. She doesn't hide her phone. And when she says, I love you, I believe her. People ask me if I regret what I did, reporting Jason, blowing up his career. I don't. Because here's the truth. If you're going to betray someone, own it. Don't hide behind "it just happened" or "I was confused." Don't send 7,439 texts and then act surprised when someone notices. And don't expect the person you betrayed to protect you from the consequences. Rachel wanted to have her affair in the shadows. I just turned on the lights. If this story hit home, comment, I turned on the lights. If you've ever been lied to, if you've ever found messages you weren't supposed to see, if you've ever been told it's nothing when it was everything, this one's for you. Hit subscribe for more stories about the moment the truth comes out, because some secrets don't stay buried, and some phone bills don't lie.